Hi, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Dayle.
We're sisters and best friends, and this is Proof It's Possible.
Jamie and I are complete opposites, but somehow through every stage of life, we stay on the same team. We're kicking the door wide open and sharing our morning coffee chats with you.
Join us as we chat about everything from chasing our dreams to entrepreneurship to family, friendship, and what other craziness we have going on that week.
Hi.
She's not using her real voice either. Okay.
Welcome to our podcast.
What's it called? For all of you guys that are listening on audio, we are together. We are Jamie and Dayle, and this is our very first episode of the podcast, Proof It's Possible.
We're sisters.
We're best friends. And we are, for the people that can't see us, that are just listening on audio, we are actually together. We won't always be together when we get to record because we live far away from each other, but try our best to always do video and audio for this podcast. The reason that we are doing it is because Christina Bartold told us we had to. And so here we are. But in all seriousness, we both hated the idea of doing a podcast and we're like, absolutely not. It's not happening. And then she beat us down. And at a women's event in Scottsdale, Arizona, that was run by Lori Harder and Katrina Scott, Jamie came up with the idea that we could do it together. And then once we got to do it together, we saw it more as an opportunity to get to have more time together, get to laugh, get to build community with all of you, get to share our friendship and stupid antics and the things we talk about, things we laugh about, the things we worry about, things we dream about. And that's what we want to share with you.
So every morning we start our day basically with a phone call, a coffee chat that takes anywhere from 2 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
And
we're not going to bring you on all of the 2 to 4 hours, but we're going to try to take like the best of the week and share it with you guys.
Exactly.
On today's episode, we wanted to talk a little bit about community because being away and going on girls' trips is something that we absolutely love, but we don't always get to do. So what our goal is in having this podcast is to create an opportunity for us to create a community and build a community of other women like us. Like, we are essentially looking for friends. We're looking for business friends. We're looking for personal life friends. We're looking for people who are going through the same stuff as us. And we love our friends, but they're not always in the same stage of life. They're not necessarily entrepreneurs. They're not necessarily moms yet, or maybe they never want to be moms. I'm not a mom. Jamie is a mom. So we're looking for you. We're looking for people who want to be on this journey and on this ride with us. And I just want to talk a little bit today about the importance of community. So Jay, why don't you go first?
Just a sec. I had a thought.
What?
Do you remember on Ellen, they were like two cousins or something, Sophie or
Yeah, Sophia, great, and
yeah.
Grace. And
anyways, and the blonde girl just sat and was like, yeah.
You're the fluff
said.
girl. You're the fluff girl or whatever they called
Because
her.
I feel like you're like, okay, so we're in the middle of an interview and we're just going to say all these things.
Well, Jamie,
and I'm like, yeah.
Jamie just came downstairs and said,
Yeah.
I don't know what we're talking about. So I'm just kind of trying to be the boss because I'm the oldest. So I'm leading the way. And I don't know if I'm Sophia or which one you are, but
You're the bossy one.
I'm the bossy brown haired one, obviously. Yeah. So anyways, back to it. Why is community important to you?
I just,
This is what I'm talking about. Her idea to have a podcast, and she came with this. This is what she's here for.
Because I really like people that like light me up, that are like on fire, that are like dream chasers, go-getters, people that are like making changes in the world. That's the people I want to be surrounded with. And I love all of my friends, and I love them for all different reasons. And I have my mom friends, and I have my best friend, my high school best friend, and then I have my sister. But I'm like, I love being in the room with like people that are totally out of my normal element, but that I can learn from, and that have like bring all a completely different perspective. They can be supportive. They can be like showing me a new way of doing something. I can learn from them. Like, that's what I love about community. What about you?
Well, I feel like for me, the reason that community matters is because it's one of those things that if you don't have it, you end up staying wherever you kind of land in life. And what I'm looking for is people who are doing the thing the next thing above me so that I can feel inspired. I can see what they're doing. I can see how they're doing it. I'm always like super inspired. Even for me, I'm not a mom, but Jamie's a mom. And so the way that she like balances life and work and businesses and her husband and their home and all the things that need to happen, I'm always like in awe of people that are doing everything. Because my life, I am married, and I've been married just under a year at this point, but it's quite quiet as outside of my businesses. My businesses are very busy. I'm an interior designer and a website designer and a soon to be author. So I'm very excited about that. But the thing about it is that I'm stepping into something new with being an author. So I need inspiration. I need to be around other people that have maybe already written a book. I need to be around people that have done something that scared them. I need to be around people that I'm also a public speaker. And so being around and hearing from and learning from other speakers really, really helps me feel like it's possible, proof that it is possible. And so other women especially are my like biggest inspiration. And so the more incredible ladies I have around and who all of us have around, I feel like the better off we are. So when it comes to trying to find the right community and the right tribe and the right vibe from people and the right, you don't always run into them naturally. And I do feel like there is a sense of you have to search for them. You have to go seeking the people that make you feel inspired. And so we have done a few like women's things, which I can't recommend enough. Like I think that they're the bomb. But I also want local friends. I want to be able to go for coffee. I want to be able to, have a Zoom chat with somebody that I actually am going to get to know and get to have in my life on a regular basis.
Yeah, I think that's the whole thing, is that it's great to be surrounded with people that are like I said, like the dream chasers, the go-getters and all of that for inspiration. I love that. But then it's also being like authentic and vulnerable with your friends that you already have. Like,
for sure.
Some friends you have like superficial friendships where it's like, oh, your kids are friends, and so then you're friends and you chit chat about like the weather and the local, parade and all of those things. And then there's like the friends that you actually share your real life stories with, and you're like, hey, I'm really struggling with this, or like I hate this about my business, or I absolutely love this about my business, or whatever it looks like. But it's like having those like completely authentic and not superficial conversations, and just changing and nurturing friendships that make you feel good when you leave them, and not like, oh, I know nothing more about that person because we're just superficial friends. We're friends on the surface, and nurturing those friendships that are like actually like deep and meaningful and all of that. That's what I love about.
Me too. Speaking of vulnerability, what is your story? Like tell everybody who you are and what you're about. And
I love that you're pretending you don't know my story. We're sisters. And she's like,
I know,
so
but
tell us
I have to
about
pretend
yourself.
that I don't for the
I am a mom of 3, and I'm married to my husband, Ray, who is an alcoholic in recovery. And I'm very proud of him for that. And I am also writing a book on my journey through recovery. I am not an addict, but I do think that the loved ones of addicts have to go through their own kind of recovery process. And so that is essentially what my book is about, on just what my journey looks like and all of the, emotional roller coaster of all of that. I am a business owner. I own 6 businesses right now. My life is chaos. Like, I wish you could see the room that we're sitting in. It's like the house is half renovated, and we're just, living in the absolute chaos of it all. But it's fun, and I love it, and I love my friends, and I love to travel, and I love my family, and I have so many amazing things on the go that I have the best life. What about you, Judy?
Well, as you guys can see, or for those of you listening on audio that can't see, I am in a wheelchair. I have been in a wheelchair since I was 16, and I'm now 40. So over half my life, I have been in a wheelchair ever since I had a surgery that went wrong. And speaking of our books, my book goes into just basically going from one day walking to having something like a surgery that went wrong, an accident, whatever it might be. I always call it the worst thing you can imagine. Whatever that looks like for you, everybody has something that feels like their worst thing. For me, this was it. I'm extremely vain, which I hate to even admit, but like I cannot walk by a window without looking in it. And I know that about myself. So being in a wheelchair like didn't fit my vain perspective of myself. It wasn't the life I wanted. It wasn't anything to do with my dream life, was being in this wheelchair. So I basically am telling my story about how I found my happiest life and my dream life and everything that I wanted after the worst thing that could happen to me happened. So outside of that, I have found my very, very happy life. And that includes having all the fun with my husband, my family, my sister's kids. They're my soulmates. I love them. And all my amazing friends. So I also run 2 businesses, which are, one of them is an interior design firm based out of Calgary and Kelowna. And the other one is a website design company. And I work with people all over North America. And I absolutely love that. I love being an entrepreneur. I love stretching myself. I love expanding. I love growing. And honestly, like I literally wake up every day and my goal is to live my biggest, best life, because I just feel like it's a gift to be here. Most people with the disease closest to mine don't make it to 5 years old. So I think if we all went out into the world and thought, I'm lucky to be here, I'm lucky to be here, we would have a lot better days. And so that's kind of my like life motto. And that's my story.
I think that's a great introduction. And we are very hopeful that you will follow along, join us for our morning chats, our coffee chats, the amazing guests that we have lined up. And thank you for listening.
Thank you.
We are so grateful you're here.
It would mean the world to us if you'll subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel and leave us a review.
If you want to hear more from us, go to proofitspossible.com to join our mailing list and find our social links so you don't miss a thing.
Thanks, and chat next time.